What's going on, everybody? Welcome into our Vikings-Packers Week 4 preview as Packers Week is finally here. Now, before we dive into the preview, we have a little revenge game for our running back, Aaron Jones. And as we stand right now, we are at 31.3 thousand subscribers. I am putting a ridiculous goal out for you guys. Can we hit 33,000 subs before this Sunday when the Vikings travel to Lambeau and take on our division rival? So hit that subscribe button, show some support for our man Aaron Jones, and let's dive into this preview. What's up, guys? My name is Patrick Siepman. Now, some topics we are going to discuss during today's preview. We're going to be getting into a deep dive around the Green Bay Packers, what's going on with Jordan Love, how have they started out this season. Then also, we got some big-time injury news, specifically around the quarterback, Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, and Kevin O'Connell hinted that Jordan Addison may actually be out there this Sunday. And then also, some keys to victory. How do the Vikings go to 4-0 on the season? And then I'll get into my score prediction as well as, a couple of you guys got on me for predicting a loss to the San Francisco 49ers in week 2. And I understand that, but I did nail my score prediction for week 3. But I say we just start off with that. My score prediction, week 4, Vikings in Lambeau Field. I got the Vikings winning 27-17. I am very curious to see how this defense will travel on the road. They have been fantastic to start this year, but you got a really good test against a good Packers team. But I think the Vikings are the better football team, so I got them winning 27-17. But let's start off with how the Packers have started the season. So the first 3 games, they played week 1 in Brazil versus the Philadelphia Eagles. They did end up losing that game. Their defense did not play that well. Lost that game with a final score of 34-29. Took on the Indianapolis Colts at home in week 2, won 16-10, and then they absolutely killed the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee this past week, winning 30-14. But how does the offense shake out for the Green Bay Packers so far? So they're actually the number 1 rushing offense in the league, averaging 204 yards per game on the ground, which is just incredible. Yards per game, they're 398 yards per game, which ranks 5th in the league. Very good on third down, top 10 points per game. They rank at 6 with 25 a game. But the starting quarterback for the Packers the last 2 weeks actually hasn't been Jordan Love. It's been Malik Willis, and he's been fantastic, man. Shout out to Matt LaFleur for getting the most out of him, but his completion percentage, unbelievable. I would not have expected that at 73.5. 2 touchdowns, hasn't turned the ball over yet. We obviously know Willis has that dual threat ability, 12 carries, 114 yards throughout 2 games. But right now it's looking like Jordan Love will be the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. And these were his stats from week 1 against the Eagles. 50% completion percentage, 7.6 yards per attempt, threw 2 touchdowns, did throw a pick, but 5.1% of his throws were big-time throws, and 4.9 were turnover-worthy plays. But Kevin O'Connell did talk to media yesterday, and he threw it out there that the Vikings are preparing for both Jordan Love and Malik Willis, as they are pretty different offenses, in terms of what they run with Willis compared to Love. Obviously, they're more downhill with Willis, having that dual threat quarterback. But with Love, they love to take advantage of all the weapons they have on the outside. And they have Josh Jacobs as their running back. He's had a great year so far. But what is the biggest threat of the Packers is their 4-man wide receiver rotation. Jaden Reed, he's one of the best gadget guys in the league. Romeo Doubs, he's fantastic as well. Christian Watson, great red zone threat, great big play threat. And then Dontavian Wicks, my opinion, one of the more underrated receivers in the league. He can create separation in a phone booth. He's fantastic. So if it is Jordan Love, I expect to see a whole lot of the wide receivers getting involved. But if it's Malik Willis, expect a downhill Packers offense. Now, defensively, this is where I think the Vikings can take advantage, because I'm not really too impressed with this Packers defense here early on in the year. Now, this is how they rank out in terms of their rankings. Yards per game, they're 21st. Passing yards, 22nd. Rushing, a little better compared to the rest of their defense at 11th. Points per game, middle of the pack, only giving up 19.3. And then third down, 28.1%. Fantastic. That is 6th in the league. But they got playmakers at every level. And, we know what they do in the front 7. They got Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary as their outside linebackers. Those are their edge rushers that want to get home to the quarterback. And then us Vikings fans, we're very familiar with Kenny Clark. He is that prototypical, like Pat Williams, Kevin Williams type of defensive lineman where he is just, taking on double teams, opening up lanes for his linebackers to shut down that run. Then our good old friend Jair Alexander. We'll talk about him more on the later half of today's preview. But then they got Xavier McKinney during free agency. He's been awesome for them. Already has 3 picks so far this season. But we do have a little bit of a revenge game for for our Vikings this upcoming week. Aaron Jones, if there is anybody who wants to win this game more than anybody on this roster, it is number 33, because not only did they just let him walk and not try to bring him back in free agency, they paid another running back big-time dollars in Josh Jacobs, so that chip on his shoulder will be massive this weekend. And actually, Matt LaFleur, Packers head coach, was asked about Aaron Jones yesterday, and I thought this was pretty funny. When asked on Aaron Jones, he said, "Who?" Obviously, he was joking, but then he said he's a problem, and he looks really good. One of my favorite players that I ever had the privilege of getting to coach. Still have a lot of love for him. So I fully expect, if I had the kind of predict the Vikings game plan this week, I think it's going to be smash mouth football. I would not be shocked if the Vikings try to run it 30, 35 times this game. I don't think it's going to be a lot of Sam Darnold dropping back, just dinking and dunking to move the ball up the field. I think the Vikings are going to try to get downhill, smash mouth football, try to impose themselves a little bit here on this Packers defense. But, another big storyline heading into the game. You got 2 of the better head coaches in the league, Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur. I want you Vikings fans to get down in the comment section, pick a head coach for me. If you're riding with KOC, give me a KOC. But if you're riding with Matt LaFleur, give me an ML down below. I'll make this the pinned comment on today's show. So if YouTube throws an ad break, sit back, let it play, and let me know your thoughts. Now, we do have some big-time injury news to get to on Sam Darnold and Jordan Love. But before we dive into that, I got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor. We will dive more into our Vikings-Packers Week 4 preview here in a second, but I got to tell you guys about a new sponsor here at Vikings Now, Public Rec. And when you guys use code CHAT at publicrec.com/chat, you guys will get 20% off your purchase. Let's be real, guys. Wearing pants suck. Who decided that stiff, uncomfortable fabric digging into your family jewels was necessary to go out and look put together? Well, I'm here to tell you those days are finally over. Public Rec has developed the revolutionary Daymaker pant that feels as comfortable as sweats, but look and fit like tailored pants. They're super stretchy and made with an elastic waistband, but you can wear them absolutely anywhere. Wear them lounging around the house, eating Cheetos, or football Sundays with the boys. You can even wear them out on that first date, and no one will know you're wearing sweats. You can finally have indoor comfort with outdoor style by wearing Public Rec's Daymaker pants. For a limited time only, our listeners get 20% off their entire order when you use code CHAT at publicrec.com. That's 20% off your order at publicrec.com with promo code CHAT. I'm actually rocking one of their hoodies right now. Their pants are great, but this hoodie is awesome. And I got off work yesterday. I was meeting up with my girlfriend, and I was telling her about this new sponsor we have here at Chat Sports, Public Rec, and she was giving me all types of compliments. So if you guys want to do the same, impress your girlfriend, impress your wife, I suggest you guys check out Public Rec. So stop the suffering in regular pants. For a limited time, our listeners get 20% off when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 20% off with code CHAT at publicrec.com. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you here from Chat Sports. So say goodbye to pants that put up a fight, because when comfort meets style, you found Public Rec. I'll make sure to put that link for you guys in the comments and description of today's show. But shout out to Public Rec for sponsoring today's edition of Vikings Now. Now, it is looking like Jordan Love will start to practice this week, and I do expect him to play this week against the Minnesota Vikings. But this upcoming week, he is going to be a limited participant in practice, according to Matt LaFleur's press conference yesterday. And I do fully expect Jordan Love to play. We heard that he was aiming towards this Week 4 return for the past couple of weeks. He was at practice over the last two stretches, the past 2 weeks. So I expect he's going to be out there. I think the Packers could have played him last week if they wanted to, but it's a big-time divisional game for him, especially with the Vikings starting off 3-0. Like, if they drop this game, that would put them 2 back of the division, and the tiebreaker were to obviously go to the Vikings with them having the head-to-head. So I think number 10 will be out there ready to go versus our Brian Flores-led Vikings defense. But Pelissero had the injury update on Sam Darnold. Thank the Lord that nothing serious happened coming off this MRI. But it's just a knee bruise, no structural damage. But we also do have some positive news on some Vikings players that have missed over the last couple of weeks. Jordan Addison, Ivan Pace, and Dallas Turner are all going to be day-to-day this week. And Kevin O'Connell sounded optimistic on all of them playing. So with getting Jordan Addison back, you're starting to really get these Avengers, back for this Vikings offense. You got Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and with Jalen Nailor playing great football as of late, he's a great wide receiver 3. And then you obviously will have TJ Hockenson returning to the fold eventually, but also I like to include our linemen as a weapon because Darisaw has been fantastic. Now, this team to me is just starting to feel dangerous. I think the 3-0 start, obviously fantastic. The results were great, but the process that the Vikings had over the first 3 weeks was incredible. They absolutely dominated every opponent for the last 12 quarters. And with getting these guys back from injury, it just kind of feels like everything is coming together. And I am fully confident saying this. We have not seen the best version of this Vikings team just yet. They're addicted to the process. We will see that later on in the year, especially when this team ends up getting healthy. But, this Vikings team's definitely been riddled by injuries, so far this season and obviously last year. So if you guys want to wish the Vikings some injury luck, hit that thumbs up icon. Don't jinx us because we need all the luck we can get right now with a potential Super Bowl team on our hands. Hit that thumbs up icon. Now, my first key to victory versus the Green Bay Packers will be my number one key to victory every single week until this stat is proven wrong. Win the turnover battle. Kick it back to chat stats here. The Vikings are 20-0 under Kevin O'Connell when they win or just tie the turnover battle. And I think if you needed, if you're talking to your friends, you're at the bar, you're at the lunch table, if you need any argument when explaining why Kevin O'Connell is a great head coach, just show them this stat. When the Vikings take care of the football, when they handle their business, this is an undefeated football team under Kevin O'Connell with a pretty good sample size of 20 games. But number 2 for me, we're going smash mouth football for this one. Now, I think the Packers, a little bit of them views them as the tougher football team than the Minnesota Vikings. But I think that changed this year, and I think it's going to start with the ground game and getting, obviously, Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler going. Now, Aaron Jones is off to a great start to his NFL season, 42 carries, 228 yards, averaging 5.4 yards per clip, but it's him in the receiving game, which has been so deadly. 97 receiving yards so far in the year. And then also Ty Chandler, he's had a great start. 4.5 yards per carry, 25 yards through the air as well. But you really got to give credit to the big boys up front. PFF has absolutely loved what they have done this season, grading them out very, very highly. Even our guy Ed Ingram, already up to a 56.3 overall grade after ranking in the 20s after the first 2 weeks. But Christian Darisaw, Brian O'Neill have been fantastic. And then the biggest shocker of this group has to be Blake Brandel. He really looks like a true starting left guard here in the National Football League. But I think the Vikings, they got to get downhill and impose their will against this Packers team. I don't think physically they can hang with us defensively. I don't trust this Packers front seven as much as I did in years past. I think the Vikings, with their personnel, with their scheme, they should be able to run the ball at a very, very high clip this weekend. And also, it's a division rival. You want to get physical with them. So smash mouth football, number 2 for me. And then number 3, the 18 effect. This would be a key to victory every single week. Whether this is Jefferson one-on-one with Jair Alexander, I'll take my chances there. But if the Packers do roll all that coverage and give the safety over the top, Jordan Addison, Jalen Nailor, they'll be one-on-one. You take advantage there. But 18, he can affect the football game in so many different ways, whether that's him producing or him opening up other opportunities for his teammates. And number 4 for me, stopping the run is going to be key this weekend. Packers, number 1 rushing offense in the National Football League, over 200 rushing yards per game. They've been fantastic. All credit to Matt LaFleur and his scheme. But Josh Jacobs has also been fantastic. He hasn't found the end zone once, but they have been really putting a big workload on his plate. Averaging over 20 carries per game, going over 275 yards and averaging 4.5 yards per clip. He's a physical runner, so having pace out there will be huge this weekend, but stopping the run and running the football, again, you could say this every single week for about any single team you're talking about, but for the Vikings specifically, I think this really, really matters. Now, this is the last one for me. I put it as Super Bowl swagger. Now, the Vikings have been getting a lot of love. They, power rankings came out today. They're top 5 in about every single power rankings I've seen. Even here at Chat Sports, the Vikings came in at 4. And I want all you Vikings fans to take those preseason expectations to think, whatever you thought about the football team before the year, just take that and throw it out the window. Because even me, who was very high on this football team, had them going 10-7, winning a playoff game, I undervalued them. This is a Super Bowl team. This is a Super Bowl coaching staff. And I always think back to this clip from Hard Knocks with Rex Ryan when he was breaking down the team. And he says, most people love to be the underdog because you have no expectations. But real Super Bowl teams, real champions, they love the expectations when they're at the highest. And that's the mantra. That's the mindset that has to be for the Minnesota Vikings. This is just another game. This is just another team on our quest to winning a Super Bowl. Take those preseason expectations, throw them out the window because it's a really good football team we have here in Minnesota. But if you guys believe in this team as well, just give me a scold down below in the comment section. Make it look like US Bank Stadium on game day. And I just really do appreciate you guys watching today's show. But if you guys want to give me a follow on Twitter as well, that's the handle right there, @PatSieps. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.